Why is Shedeur Sanders not the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns? Why do the Browns refuse to turn to number 12? I've got multiple theories we're going to look at here on today's show. You're not going to want to miss what could be going on behind the scenes in the Browns front office that's leading to Shedeur remaining on the bench. Before we get into that, hit that subscribe button so that you know what's going on. We're pushing to 60K this November. If you want all the updates on Browns quarterbacks, on when Shedeur is going to start, hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, so you'll get a notification that says, boom, breaking, Shedeur is the starting quarterback. Hit that subscribe button to be in the know for all things Browns. Okay, how we're going to do this is a little rumors list system. So how it works is I'm going to say the rumor, and then we're going to use Shedeur Sanders heads to justify how true the rumors are. So if I don't put a single Shedeur head next to the rumor, it's completely fake news. If I put one Shedeur head there, there's a small shred of truth. If I put two Shedeur heads, people are talking about this. 3 Shedeur heads, it's pretty likely that this is the case. And finally, if I got all 4 Shedeur heads on there, that means watch. It's happening. Because you know Shedeur loves to hold up the wristwatch. And so without further ado, let's get into the first rumor on the rumor list. The main reason Shedeur isn't starting is Kevin Stefanski. And you know what? There's a lot to be said about this, that Stefanski's the one that doesn't want to go to him, that doesn't want to name him the starting quarterback. Is it all completely on Kevin? Well, a reporter asked Kevin Stefanski for an update on Shedeur, and the question was, Jimmy Haslam said during training camp that you knew that seeing both young quarterbacks at some point this season was important. So where is Shedeur at as far as his development? And do you have a timetable of when you would take a look at him? Stefanski said, yeah, I don't think it's fair to speculate. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dillon is certainly committing to improving every which way he can. And all the while, all of our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that they're getting better on a daily basis. And so Stefanski, it seems like he doesn't want to make this decision. He's like, yeah, it's not fair to give a timetable, which I get. But that is showing, once again, that they really are choosing Dillon Gabriel to be the starting quarterback and see something in him. And so I wonder, what if Kevin Stefanski's job is tied to Dillon Gabriel, tied to Gabriel being a good quarterback, right? This was a choice that he made. When he benched Flacco, he named Gabriel the starter. He named Gabriel the backup before the season. And obviously the Browns as a whole drafted Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round when Shedeur Sanders was still available. So this is their choice, and maybe it's the owner saying, fine, go with your guy. If Gabriel is terrible, then you're out of here. Honestly, that theory is starting to make the most sense, that Jimmy Haslam in the 5th round was like, you can't let Shedeur go past here. I mean, he's going to bring in so much revenue for the Cleveland Browns, and Stefanski didn't want to draft number 12. So, like I said, Gabriel still blows. It might be the case of we're going to ride him out, and if the numbers like this continue, then Stefanski's job is gone. And then they'll bench Gabriel. And that's why Kevin is continuously sticking and trying to improve his guy that he chose. And if Stefanski's wrong, and our offense has been bad for 2 years, you're fired. And they may want to be setting up Shedeur. He'll get a new coach. That's what I think could be happening here. You also have to look at this tie between Kevin Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel and a lot of the Browns coaches. You know, an ESPN article told us that the CAA influence in Cleveland is strong. Jimmy Sexton, who declined to comment for this story, has represented the past 2 Browns head coaches, Freddie Kitchens and Kevin Stefanski, and another CAA agent represents Andrew Berry. Some other coaches under CAA are Dan Lanning, Brent Venables, and Gus Malzahn. All coaches that Dillon Gabriel played for in college. So this could stem even deeper into an agency sort of under contract thing. And Stefanski seems to be really trying to push Gabriel, and if it doesn't work, it might take his job being fired to see Shedeur. I honestly think this gets 3 Shedeur heads. That Kevin Stefanski is the main reason why Shedeur Sanders isn't starting. He doesn't want to turn to him. He doesn't want to be wrong. And his job could be on the line if he's wrong. So I think it's literally the head coach not trying to go to him. Weigh in for me. Is Kevin Stefanski the reason Shedeur isn't playing? Type Y for yes, type N for no. You think the head coach is the biggest part of it? Do you think he doesn't want to start Shedeur? I mean, seriously, all his actions would indicate that he doesn't want him to play. He hasn't even given him reps with the first teams ever. When Haslam said it's important to see them both, I think Stefanski is preventing it from happening. The next theory is that the Browns are having a complete tank job. They're literally soft tanking, we'll call it, by going out there and playing quarterbacks who are bad, and we're losing games, including losing to the New York Jets, which is just unfathomable. The numbers for Dillon Gabriel, we've updated the PFF stats, and his grade is the worst in the NFL now. It's 37th out of 37 at 49.9. Yards per attempt, up to 5 from 4.9. Completion percentage, 58.6. In turnover-worthy plays, he's got 10 of them. We don't take shots, and we're inefficient at short passes. That's what you need to know about this. It is unbelievable. And Kevin Stefanski was asked about Dillon Gabriel's progression. A reporter said, Kevin, what progress have you seen from Dillon? Start 1 to start 5. What areas have you seen drastic improvement? And Stefanski said, well, I think with young quarterbacks, it's understanding that there's going to be ups and downs. You know, can Dillon play better? Yes, he can. Can we play better around him? Yes, we can. Can we coach him better? Yes, we can. So I understand the question, but I just trust that our young players at every position, and certainly at the quarterback position, are guys that are going to work their tails off to get better every single day. He couldn't name one thing. The question was, what improvement have you seen? He didn't say a single area of improvement. What, are we literally tanking? What the heck's going on here? You gave up 2 special teams touchdowns to the lowly New York Jets. I seriously cannot come up with a reason, or I never would have even expected us to be losing to the New York Jets that week. And somehow, some way, everything went wrong on special teams and then undisciplined football. The Browns have 2 first-round picks also. And so they're gearing up for another big draft after a draft haul that is very impactful for them. Young rookies making an impact for Cleveland this year so far. Schlesinger, Judkins, Graham, Fannin, you name it, we got him. Bond as well. And so you're not allowed to tank. But people are starting to speculate that the Cleveland Browns need to be investigated because they're continuously starting bad quarterbacks, continuously losing games, even though our defense is one of the best in the league. Remember, Hugh Jackson came out and said he was being incentivized to lose games under Jimmy Haslam. Now, Hugh Jackson is the worst head coach I think I've ever seen with my own eyes. So maybe he's just trying to defend himself. But it's worth throwing out there here while discussing this tank rumor. The bottom line is the Browns' stats are awful, and the play calls are so bad that people are literally speculating that our team is losing games on purpose to get a better draft pick. I'll put 2 Shedeur heads next to this. Like, I can't go out and say that the Browns are tanking. Otherwise, literally, they would be in trouble with the National Football League. So I don't think they're literally purposefully losing games. But I think you could make the argument it's a soft tank. Like, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world if we lose. From the top perspective, which is a losing mentality, and I hate that. Myles Garrett is throwing his helmet in frustration. He wants to be committed to winning football. So I don't think that's the most likely scenario, but tank job is something that people have brought up a lot. I give it 2 heads. Before we get into some more theories as to why the Browns just refuse to play Shedeur, I'm going to tell you guys about this awesome deal we've got going on at Chat Sports here. You can get a sick Browns hoodie that I wear myself here on the show for over 50% off if you go to chatsports.com/Browns hoodie. It's an easy link to remember. I'm going to put it in the comment section. I'm going to put it in the description so you can find it easily. But just go ahead and type in chatsports.com/Browns hoodie if you want. The weather's getting colder. It's a nice, comfortable way to rep your favorite team on Sundays. Sit on the couch, watch some football, watch with your family. Get cozied up in this lovely Browns hoodie and join our watch party where we'll be live for it. It was $70. It's now just $28 to get this Browns hoodie. Perfect for the winter season. Chatsports.com/Browns hoodie. Going over there. Get yourself one right now. All right, the next theory as to why Shedeur isn't starting. They're protecting Shedeur. They don't want to throw him into an awful situation that is the Cleveland Browns offense and surrounding supporting cast right now. There is something to be said about this, right? Maybe, just maybe, Shedeur is the franchise quarterback. Maybe he really is the guy that should have been the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Mel Kiper and Skip Bayless and other analysts had come out and said. And so if that is the case, if his talent really is there, maybe they want Shedeur to be in a better situation before they throw him into the fire. Maybe they want an offensive line around Shedeur. Maybe they want a coach that actually wants to coach for Shedeur. Stefanski seems like he's not that kind of guy. And they're going to wait for a better situation before putting in our franchise quarterback of the future. And that would mean a new offensive line. That would mean a new head coach, like I said, and some more weapons, right? A wide receiver group that can make it easier on a young, developing quarterback. A lot of great quarterbacks in NFL history had to wait. The Packers seem to do it a lot, right? Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Jordan Love was drafted a couple years early to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. And so you've looked at some examples in NFL history, and perhaps it's not a bad idea for Shedeur to sit on the sideline and learn if he's going to be the guy for the future. Now, the difference in those situations is, well, they were getting actual good quarterback play from Favre, from Rodgers, while the others were waiting. Dillon Gabriel's been terrible. And I think some reps right now would be beneficial for Shedeur to at least get his feet wet in the NFL and get some reps. Even if it is a bad situation, well, we can still make those improvements in the offseason, and the game will look even easier for Shedeur if he's going to be the guy going forward. So I don't think that Cleveland sees him as this franchise guy, at least not the ownership right now. But I think that situation could really emerge. I do see the potential in Shedeur. I think there is a real chance he can be a great quarterback. He was supposed to be one of the top picks in the draft. I don't think the Cleveland Browns are planning this, though. I think this is more of an issue of Stefanski doesn't believe in Shedeur like we do. And so it's going to take him having to bite his tongue or lose his job. So I'm only going to give this one Shedeur head. Not because I don't think it could happen, meaning I think Shedeur could end up emerging and playing well for the Browns, but I don't think the Browns are saving him. I don't think they are treating it as such. So I'm giving that one Shedeur head. All right, the last theory here that we're going to look at, that people are saying, is that Shedeur isn't good. They think Shedeur is perhaps just not talented enough to start for the Browns. And I'm just going to tell you this right now. That is absolutely fake news. There's no dang way that is true. Because what we're seeing from the quarterbacks of the Cleveland Browns right now is atrocious. No way, no how is Shedeur not good enough to start for this Browns team right now. Why do I say that, though? Because of what we've seen from Gabriel, because of what we've seen from Joe Flacco. I mean, the stats are so bad, you can't tell me that Shedeur is going to look worse than Gabriel right now. I mean, seriously, there's no way, no quarterback in the league looks worse than Gabriel right now. So I just don't think that's the case. Even if you don't believe in him to be a super talent going forward, it can't be that he's not. It can't be that he's not as good as Gabriel. I mean, seriously, he's got better intangibles than Gabriel, more size, even more mobility, more arm strength. I mean, really, point to the aspect of Gabriel's game that was evaluated higher than Shedeur's. The only thing they would tell us was processing and decision-making, and that's been awful through 5 weeks for Dillon Gabriel. So the knock on Shedeur was he holds onto the ball a little bit too long. We saw that maybe in the Rams game when he had a backup offensive line. Overall, I think most areas of the game, I would favor Shedeur. So the reason I put that as fake news is because of how bad the quarterback play has been in Cleveland. Like, there's no way he's that bad. Seriously. All right, those are the theories, ladies and gentlemen. How you feeling? If you want Shedeur to start, you're tired of seeing him sit on the bench and not even get a rep, then spam 12 in the comments section. Spam it, spam it, spam it down below. 12 if you want to see Shedeur play. I certainly would be spamming it. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for some life, some energy in the Browns stadium. I think the atmosphere would be electric just by him getting out there and getting the start. So comment 12 down below. Make sure you subscribe to the Browns Report because I got you covered when the news is announced. I'll be on here. I'll probably be going live, and you're not going to want to miss it when 12 finally gets his opportunity. So thank you guys so much for watching this edition of the Browns Report, and we will see you next time.